Prisoners is one of the best movies I've ever seen. Directed by Denis Villeneuve, who also gave us one of my personal favorites, Arrival, excellent science fiction movie, and of course, the Dune movies. Well, Prisoners tells a story of a father who is just absolutely devastated, but on a rampage because he is being tormented by the fact that his daughter has disappeared. His daughter and a friend's daughter has disappeared. This guy goes on a mission to find his daughter. He's willing to go beyond what most people would do. So essentially, the story begins with this father. He's teaching his son how to hunt, and he's a survivalist, a prepper. And he takes his daughter, his young daughter, like 6 or 7 years old, and his teenage son to a friend's house right down the road. And this couple, the friends, is this couple. It's the father is actually played by Terrence Howard, who gets drawn into this craziness, and the mother is played by Viola Davis. Well, they have a daughter too, around the same age. And they go down there, they have dinner, everything's fine. The kids go out, the 2 little girls go outside to play, and they lose track of them. The teenage son loses track of them. The teenage son he saw them near a van, and at a certain point, they're just gone. So both of the fathers start to freak out. The whole family, both couples freak out because their respective kids are missing. They get the police involved, and at a certain point, there's a lead to this individual. The police come across this individual. Now, the person leading this investigation is a detective played by Jake Gyllenhaal, who is just fantastic in this. They find this very suspicious character, man who owned an RV or whatever, and the guy, when the police try to confront him, he runs off. He tries to drive off. Well, the police apprehend him, but there's not enough evidence. The father finds out they have this guy, and the father is convinced that this guy, this suspect, is involved, has something to do with the disappearance of his daughter. Well, they have to let this guy go, and the father walks up, played by Hugh Jackman, walks up to this guy in the parking lot, and there's media and a whole bunch of other people around. He confronts him. He gets up in his face, and this guy says something really sketchy to him, like, they didn't cry until I left. Like, why would you say something like that, huh? They didn't cry until I left. The father freaks out. So he gets pulled into the station. At a certain point, the father, he's convinced that this guy has his kid. He knows what happened to these girls. So he's going to take action. Well, there's other suspects too. Jake Gyllenhaal's character, the detective, he's come across a couple other sketchy people as well. There's bodies found. I mean, it's a lot going on here. Even the detective's attacked at one point. But the detective, there's one part in the movie where the detective has a suspect, and he's completely frustrated by the guy because he has a good reason to believe that this guy is involved. Well, let me tell you what the father does. Hugh Jackman's character, he makes a decision to confront this guy he suspects of being the kidnapper or whatever, and he actually holds this guy hostage. But then he brings the other father, played by Terrence Howard, into the situation. And Terrence Howard's character is just mortified by this situation. So they have this prisoner, and they're basically torturing this guy until this guy tell them where the daughter is, where these kids are at. And I'm thinking, okay, if I'm a father, if I'm in Hugh Jackman's situation, how would I respond if I was convinced that somebody had my daughter, my little girl? And how far would I be willing to go to get my daughter back? And then there's Terrence Howard's character who shows up. He gets dragged into the scene. He doesn't even know that Hugh Jackman's character kidnapped this guy. And he has to make a decision. Should I get involved and help this guy or not? And I'm going to leave it at that. Let me just say this movie has so many twists and turns. It's just really fascinating. It just really grabbed me and really held my attention. I was really, really invested in the outcome of this movie. Let me just say that the evil introduced in this film is something you won't soon forget. So it's pretty awesome. Prisoners, I will say this, it looks beautiful. One thing I noticed about this Blu-ray is that I thought it was like a 4K. It looks so beautiful and clear. It's really good pictures. Man, this is proof that you can have a Blu-ray that looks fantastic. You don't necessarily always need a 4K, but this looks great. I think it has a lot to do with the way the director shot this film, and pretty good pacing. Really enjoyed this movie. It's called Prisoners, one of the best movies I've ever seen. I highly recommend it. I know I talk about a lot of movies, but this is going to make my list for one of the best crime thrillers I've ever seen. So, man, what would I rate this? I can't, man, I can't take anything away from this movie. It was freaking perfect. I consider this to be a perfect movie. I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. That's how much I like this movie. A 10 out of 10. This is outstanding. 10 out of 10. This guy, that movie's so good because I'm so used to these type of movies from Denis, science fiction. That movie's so good. Now I'm thinking, okay, maybe if he does a James Bond movie, it might actually be great. Okay, because I wasn't that excited about the idea at first, but now I'm really excited about it. Now, if you want to know more about this director's work, check out my reviews right here on my channel on Arrival and Dune.